Back in studio with the fellas to parse some of what we saw, and it felt like two completely different football games. The first three quarters where Chicago largely dominated but didn't finish a number of drives, and then there was the fourth quarter where you give up a short field on a punt return, you offer an opportunity, J.J. McCarthy takes it. Mac, I want to know where you're at right now. Let's start on the Bears side of things, because it continues to be these heart-pounding type finishes that they survive once again.
I mean, this matchup reminded me a lot of the first matchup with Minnesota and Chicago, where J.J. McCarthy was a bit stagnant for three quarters. Then something happened in the fourth quarter where he was able to come up and show up for them to win that ball game. And he was almost straddling the fence of the same timeline. But to your point, Chicago had the necessary plays that were needed to be made to be able to win this ball game. And this was a game for Chicago. When you look at the flow of the game, the way you dominated for three quarters, you could not afford to lose this ball game. When you look at what's going on in your division, the NFC North, you cannot play around with your food, because I believe three teams could easily get into the playoffs. And if you're the Chicago Bears, currently being, at 6-3, you want to find a way to get into the playoffs. That's a playoff caliber season. And winning and beating a team where the quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, it felt like he was throwing the football with his eyes closed. He wasn't seeing the football field extremely well. They were very, very opportunistic and forcing turnovers against J.J. McCarthy. And to your point, man, they just made the necessary plays Chicago needed to make to win this ball game.
Don't cheat, my Bears win. 7-3 now and climbing.
Before today.
Prior to this matchup.
Yeah, before.
You know, we're getting back into the fold, me and you, Mac. But I want to go in further on something that you said there, Mac. J.J. McCarthy, it seems like a split personality right now. There was J.J. and then there was 9, as you said, that came up late in this one. Where are you at? Because a lot of those issues early on were self-inflicted. A couple interceptions thrown to this Bears defense. They did pressure him, throw some exotic looks at him, but it looks like two different football players right now.
Yeah, it's very simple. JJ has to be better. He has to be better, especially in the first half, missing way too many throws, costly turnovers in the red zone, and just putting his team in bad situations. We know what this Brian Flores defense is going to provide for them, creating short fields, taking the ball away, and putting that offense in good field position. And JJ McCarthy, if this team want to be successful, especially in these last 6-7 games, he has to start the game off better and get in a better rhythm to get him going.
Yeah, because we see what he is when he is in rhythm. Some of those timing throws to the outside late in this game that got the lead back for Minnesota, it does not hold as a long kick return and then a couple handoffs. I think it does still go down as a fifth game-winning drive for Caleb Williams.
It does.
A fifth come from behind drive in the fourth quarter. What do you make of the Chicago offense? Because it feels like they're on the edge of breaking through, for lack of a better term. From a yardage standpoint, they're short of their season average, but they are finding themselves around the top of the NFL right now. What's going to take them to that next level?
Probably not playing Brian Flores defenses, right? So we do have to be fair to the Chicago Bears, where this became, can you make a field goal there in the final probably 3 quarters of this game for them. You know, Brian Flores knows Ben Johnson quite well, knows this Chicago Bears team, and knows the kind of pressure points. So it's okay that their numbers weren't great today. You want to see them on the ground be a lot better. And look, they got, I think, the Pittsburgh Steelers coming up next. And then, look, this is a tough slate. It's the Steelers, and then it's at the Eagles, it's at the Packers. Then they have the Cleveland Browns defense. Again, so while we can sit here and say, oh, the Bears against Brian Flores' defense, it's not getting much easier. And so while they are figuring out ways to win, and Joe, you and I have talked about it for many weeks, credit the Chicago Bears for figuring out ways to win. Also, don't make it so difficult on yourself to where it's the final minute of the game and you're over here sweating it.
Yeah, there were throws of the third quarter where this team could have run away with this game, Mac. Do you have a limiting factor right now?
Talking about the Bears offensively, I think there is a disconnect with the wide receivers not named Rome Odunze. There's the issue for me. When you look at the talent, they have talent there. I still love DJ Moore. He's a very versatile player. You look at Luther Burden, who's really surfaced here or there. You got 3 outstanding wide receivers, in my opinion, when you factor in Rome Odunze. But something is off in terms of the volume. Rome Odunze had 2 receptions. Luther had 3. DJ Moore had 1. Once upon a time, DJ Moore was the featured guy in this offense.
Should have had 3. Couple hit him in the breadbasket.
And that proves my point about the disconnect, the lack of rhythm. But they had enough to win. But that stretch that you're talking about, eventually those wide receivers are going to have to surface. They're going to have to surface and make some plays to help the young quarterback out.
Mouths to feed, certainly. You got Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland in that offense, and always a run-first approach from Ben Johnson. It's a couple points better than their divisional foe as they right a wrong. It felt like deja vu, but for a moment, the Bears sneak by with another late win. Most wins when trailing in the final 2 minutes in a single season since 2000. Now the most in any season, matching the 16 Lions and the 11 Broncos.